Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it just us here?
Woohoo! Chris
Hello.
came prepared. I lost my Santa hat after the last move, so it's somewhere in a box.
I
So,
stole this off the kids.
oh,
No
But give that
gingerbread?
here. Give that here. You want
No ginger.
presents? Give me a freaking hat.
you
No
want to lick a
gingerbread.
wall? You have to give me a
Yeah,
hat.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can.
Okay, good.
Oh, I
I
have to. I
encourage
suppose
crazy
I have to.
behavior from my daughters. I encourage it.
I,
Encourage it.
Have to
Chris,
remember to keep letting people in.
Chris, how did they make that giant gingerbread wall?
Honestly, Christmas is another level out here. They really embrace it. Like, honestly, there was an archway I didn't show you that you walked in under, and that was all made out of gingerbread as well. And
Oh my
again, my
gosh.
daughter had to go and eat bits of it just to test it was edible.
So, is this your first Christmas there, Chris?
No, second.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, if you ever move, this is what she's gonna remember.
Well, next year we're going to find some snow, I think.
Oh,
I think we've
fun.
done.
I'll
Yeah,
just come
we
out
have.
to Canada for that.
It's overrated.
Hey, you don't have to go to
There he
Canada.
is.
We have it here in the
There he is.
States.
Hey, Scrooge.
It's happening.
Hmm.
Listen, I'd rather have the sand. I'll trade you. You could have my house for a week, and you give me yours for a week.
Just
Yeah,
come and live
yeah.
with me, Warren. We'll have you here. I think you'd be great here.
Oh, I'm coming when you're there, but I'm saying I'm willing to give you the house with the snow for the winter.
You'd love the fishing here.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know. We'll
Sorry,
Hey,
get there.
guys.
Jesse, Mark. I love seeing everybody's coming in
Very
here,
cool.
seeing some old faces, some new faces. Um, yeah, we'll
Cool.
give everybody a minute. While we're waiting for folks to come in, why don't you guys pipe in and just start introducing yourselves or say hi in the chat. Tell me
Again,
where you're here
don't we
from.
know everybody already?
No, there's some new faces here. So
All
head to
right.
the chat and yeah, just let us all know where you're coming in from. Oh, we've got the captain coming in now. So
The captain.
the captain, our
Skipper.
captain. I wanted, when I first heard Skipper, for those of you who are wondering, this is all part of the whole Printing United All Stars thing. So when I first heard Skipper, I wanted to know who was Gilligan. I don't know that we ever found our Gilligan, but the captain is here. Yeah, so everyone, yes, head to the chat. So, hey, Alicia, Rochester, do you guys still have snow or is it warmed up a bit there?
It's warmed up, but we still have some snow.
Yeah, I think it'll all be gone by the end of the week, here at least.
Yes.
Um, Tampa Bay, where it's nice and warm, Boca, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yay, Tara. Um, Woodstock. Now, is that to be confused with the like OG Woodstock? Were you at Woodstock, Mark, perchance?
No,
No.
not to be confused.
Oh, is that no to not to be confused or no, you weren't at Woodstock?
Both.
Oh. Just checking, just checking. Hey, Amy. I'm still letting folks in. This is so exciting to see everybody. Thank you again, all, for coming out and happy holidays. And welcome to our annual holiday. Who KH43497.
That would be Kelly Hong. I don't know why it's showing up that way, but
I love it. I love it.
I'm
I
trying to
saw it
lay
come in.
low.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen in anytime soon. Oh, this is dinging, isn't it? Okay, cool. I don't want to leave people behind. So I do want to get started. For those of you for whom it is lunch hour, thank you for sharing your lunchtime with us. For those of us, it might be cocktail hour, it might be morning. We're from Hey Heather. I haven't seen you in forever. It's just awesome to see everybody's faces. Um, Of course, the theme of today, we are going to talk about AI. I don't want to be all serious. I don't want to be doom and gloom. I want us to share and enjoy the holiday spirit. But we are saying goodbye to 25 and ushering in 26, and we do need to talk about the AI. Oop, there's more people coming in. About the AI elephant in the room. Ooh, Richard is here too. Oh, I feel like I'm fangirling over half the people who are here. I love it. This is awesome. Okay, let's see if we can. I have like I literally have like pages of notes here, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to get through, especially once the conversation starts. And I really want to kick off the conversation. For those of you who are just joining us, please head to the chat and let us know where you're in from. We've got Florida, Michigan, Scotland, Georgia. Um, of course, Canada. Although at this rate, oh no, Sam's a Canadian, so you're with us all here. Okay, so a couple of stats. Everybody who's been to my webinars and my meetups know I always like to lead with stats. So stats about AI and the print industry, and this comes from NAPCO's um, uh, Alliance Insights AI adoption in the printing industry from curiosity to competitive advantage. Here's a couple of stats to kick us off. 85% of surveyed print providers believe AI will be critical to their future competitiveness. But only 7% of surveyed print providers say they have a defined AI roadmap today. When it comes to sales, 73% of sales reps already use AI in their daily workflows. And in HubSpot's 2025 research, 84% of sales pros using AI say it helps them save time and optimize processes. So I want
Duh.
to kick this all off by asking you, how has AI impacted you in 2025? Think about what you love about it, what you're concerned about, and those game-changing moments where you kind of smacked yourself on the head. And for those of you who know, say to yourself, I could have had a V8. So, Mark, I'm glad
That's,
Amy.
by the way, that is very, very old school.
I know, but I'm loving seeing the nod. So if you recognize Sam is going, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I hope she doesn't see. So those of you who actually know, like, just stick your hands up or put a like or something. But yeah, in all seriousness, let's open this up. I don't want to be the one talking. I do enough of that.
Okay,
Let's
so
meet
I'll
up. Let's
start.
talk. Of
So,
course,
I mean,
Lauren.
listen, AI from the get-go, it's been a saver for basic tasks that you use, helps you sound better when you're communicating with people, makes things a lot quicker. It's not the end all of end all. You still have to know what you're doing. I'm sitting trying to make videos for 3 days now. I'm gonna hang myself. I'll probably hire someone who's a lot better at it than I am. And I think I'll just end it with saying that we've got to be careful. And and the more we talk about the fear, the more fear it's going to put in people, which we don't need any more fear today. The world is stressful
No,
enough.
agreed. Who wants to share a game-changing moment that they had with AI?
Oh, I will.
Heather. Ooh, sorry,
Someone else.
Heather, then Amy. Heather, go.
Hi. Hi. So I was a big naysayer of AI. I was very fearful of it. I just completed the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And
Congratulations.
thank you. One of the lead professors is a Google consultant. And so she taught us how to use it. And how to get the most out of it. And so once I actually started to use it to help me with my business growth plan and then I really started to understand the power of it. So that was a big aha moment for me because it really just helped me think through and research something I was going to do myself anyway, just sped up the process, as Warren mentioned. The other big game-changing moment for us, though, is we do a lot of SEO work. And so we've had to really educate our clients about the impact of AI on SEO, which I'm sure everyone here knows about. And we had a very funny moment where a sales guy for one of our clients came to the marketing director that we work with and said, I really think we should start investing in AI so that we are in the summaries in search results. So we had to like just educate our clients about what are these AI summaries and how do you get cited, and like it's just been a real year of re-educating clients and telling them that yes, SEO is still a thing. It's just a more complicated thing. So we've been doing a lot of educating.
Cool. Amy.
I remember in 21 or 22 when the first uh, announcements of AI were going on, and there was a lot of fear, and I was afraid, oh my God, there goes my job.
Mhm.
This year, it has made such leaps and bounds. It's incredible. All of the applications that you can use AI for. So my game changing moment was last week. I was really, really struggling with filling out a document for my son, answering stupid questions. Like, I had no idea. And the thought occurred to me, well, you know what? It may not give me an answer. It may say, I can't help you with this, which, comes up. But I said, why not give it a try? And I put in all of the details, and oh my God, it was like having a a virtual assistant, having an expert talk to you. I can help guide you through, give me the questions. If you give me more details, I can help you. But just it was almost like an affirmation of, yes, you're struggling. This is why you're struggling. Here's how I can help. And it was uncanny how much valuable information that I got that put my mind at ease, that is going to help me through this difficult process. So I was floored.
That's amazing. Um, I'm curious, Amy, how did you provide it the information? Like, did you have to enter it, or did you upload a PDF, or how did you give it the information that was on the form?
So what I've discovered about AI is in the prompt, um, if you give it a lot of details and tell it a specific question that you're asking and how it can help you answer the question. So that's what I did. So I like it. So if you get as specific as you possibly can with AI, it gives you better results.
For sure. I was trying to get much more in the actual technical, because one of the things I learned is sometimes, I don't know if you guys have encountered this or not, it's supposed to be able to read websites and web pages. You should be able to put in a URL, but sometimes it says, I can't read this page. So what are you supposed to do? And sometimes it's like, okay, well, I'm going to copy and paste everything that's on this page. It's like, no, I don't do that anymore. I just take a screenshot. I make the page, I shrink the page, zoom out so it fits on my screen. I take a screenshot and then upload that, because it can read what's in the pictures. It will just OCR it potentially. So I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but that's a bit of a hack that I've had to use in order to provide it information from websites or even other documents that otherwise I would have to either copy paste or rekey myself. And we're supposed to be not doing these manual tasks. So that's sort of my workaround. If anybody else has some of those, what are some little tips or prompts or things that you've sort of learned um, since you've been using AI that make a difference? For me, one of them every time I do a prompt, there's a couple things that I say, one of which is, do you understand? And another is there any other information I can give you to help you give me what I want? And sometimes it comes out for the whole list of things, and it's like, oh, holy crap, I didn't even think of that. And sometimes it just goes straight in and says, nope, this is what you want. Off we go to the races. So who here, what are some of your favorite go-to prompts?
Joanne, I'll jump in. I always oftentimes will say, how would a top 1% XYZ do this? How would a top 1% creator?
Ooh.
How would a top 1% salesperson? How would a top 1%? Another one is on the sales side. I don't ever meet with anyone without having first AI, the background of like, who is this person? What is the potential fit here? Where can I best serve them? So it's a great prep work. The only caution I would share is I come out of sales. AI is great for process. People are mistakenly applying it in the business world to relationship building, and that's where it breaks. So I would give it like it'll get you to the goal line, but at that point, the trust factor takes over. That's what
Oh,
people.
yeah, I love it. I love it. I love what you just said, Mark, because it's so true. It can only take you so far, but you need a human to sort of really walk through the door. Jesse, looks like you had something to say, or are you just contemplating?
I'm thinking, I mean, it's been quite profound. I like what Mark just said. That it's really part of process more than output. I think it gets rewarded for like when people talk about what they love about it, they often talk about output, but I don't even think that's the magic. I'll talk about from my perspective, like what's been the most impactful is actually the human element, specifically like how I've been able to use it to improve myself, my coaching, my leadership, my relationships, everything about kind of myself as a human, right? So, as an example, I take all my transcripts from all meetings and immediately do like a pretty comprehensive review, like how did I conduct myself versus the aims of the meeting and what could I have done differently and how might I have presented and or spoken differently. Um, and I think like so in a way like that's not helping the output, but it's helping coach me. I think the big thing for the future is for the people that lead companies or the people that lead organizations and get it, um, how to demonstrate how to get the most out of it to their team. Right? I think about our organization, we're 20 people plus or minus. And it's been incredibly powerful for me using it. But if I can get 19 other people using it as well as I do, we'll be unstoppable. And so that's kind of my focus is less about um, how to get me all over it and how to get them all over it and not necessarily with like tips and tricks, but more like going back to like root-based thinking of like this is who you talk to before you talk to anyone else. And it's not for output, it's for process and it helps you be a better person.
Interesting. I like that. I like that. Thank you, Jesse. Let's hear from some folks over the pond because we've it's we so a lot of us we live in our North American, and I'm including Canada in North America. So we live in our little North American bubble. Um, but I want to hear from Richard and Colin and Chris and um, yeah, like tell who wants to jump in.
I'd just like to raise a very important point, Joanne, if I may, that there is
Absolutely.
only one person on this entire call that has taken the time and the trouble and the, dare I say it, the gall to wear a Santa hat and a Christmas jumper. And he's the Brit. This is where the crazy comes in, right? He's the Brit that lives in the Middle East and it's 30 degrees outside and he's wearing knitwear. So judge him at your leisure. But all hail to Christopher Min.
Oh, hail
Richard,
Chris.
Richard, thank you for that introduction. I would just like to say this jump is actually a tribute to you. Do you know why?
Is it fake?
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Very
I
well. Do you know
love
what?
it.
The holidays are coming.
Oh,
Brilliant.
brilliant.
Great.
So that might be an inside joke for some. Chris or Richard, do one of you want to expand? First of all, for
Yeah,
those who
I'll,
do
I'll do
not
it. I'll
know,
embarrass
the
Richard.
jumper is a sweater.
I'll
for
embarrass
those who
Rich.
don't
Oh,
speak
sorry.
UK.
Sorry,
And now Chris.
and it's football. Just so you know, it's football. Just saying,
So
just saying.
yeah, I forget. We had this last night. We did a webinar with Colin, Sheep for Brains, and Jester Cola said baton, and I was like, no, baton. Like let me translate to English. It's like aluminum. And no, aluminium. Anyway, let's not get into languages. I'll just give two if I may. I gave a speech at FESPA Global in Berlin in May on the use of AI in a practical sense. And one of the examples I gave was human empowerment of an aging workforce, an aging generation. And I took Dave Rosendale's business, Mindfire Inc., who you guys might know. And there was a member of staff there that Dave and his senior leadership team had put some effort into bringing fairly standard AI, easy to use AI practices and systems. And what they wanted to do was take an individual who was finding the jump in tech, the speed of the industry moving so quickly, very stressful and creating anxiety, and actually turn that around. And they actually did. And we actually put a QR code up on the screen, and you could watch the video of this individual who's in her sort of late 60s, early 70s, talking about that. Not only did she gain the confidence to use it, she improved on, she got 3 or 4 hours back a day, but also she was enjoying work again. And then from the leadership point of view, they were then saying how now she's contributing as much as she did 20 years ago. And I think this was a really important point because this was the empowerment of what the human sustainability angle, and actually with the right leadership and the right mindset and coaching, that it can be something that we can really improve our workforce and give them confidence. The other thing as well, and it was bizarre. I sat on many webinars, hosted many webinars with InFocus and Print IQ and other software companies throughout the year, and they're all talking about Print's been using AI for 20 years, this, that, and the other. But the one point that resonated with me for all the webinars and all the content was a member of the InFocus team stating, English is not my first language. I am not confident in communicating in English, but my whole industry communicates in English. In the last 2 years since AI has been available, my communications are quicker, they're faster, and they're clearer, and my confidence and my level of effort has now increased. And I thought that's something we're missing a little bit on a positive sense. Is the first and foremost, the point he was making was that the intelligence has been in our workflows for a while. We just don't really highlight it, or we're not focused enough on that side of it, rather than the generative AI piece. But more so that, the human element and how this individual was finding it easier to now communicate with colleagues, partners, and clients. So they're my two for this year I'd like to share.
I think that was brilliantly put. And there, I don't know if you realized that there was a little bit of a holiday themed fashion show going on while you were. Why? I know you're like I'm trying to like stay focused, and in the meantime, everyone's standing up, and there's
What kind
sweaters
of show
going
is
on.
this?
So Jennifer and Jesse and who and Chris. Let's see who else. Anybody else wearing holiday garb other than me? I've got a red top on. Alicia's got red. Chameleon, who doesn't have a name yet that we know of. Tara. So we've got a couple of folks in. We got some girls who print showing up now. I can only imagine what we're going to find here. Um, but yes, thank you. I love it. You guys are awesome. This is so cool. Thank you. You missed. Oh, we still got a little bit of a sweater fashion show going on. So thank you, Kelly. Deborah, you're like, what did we just jump into here? So yeah, we were talking a little bit about AI, and just getting a sense on how AI has impacted you in 2025. What do you love about it? What are you concerned about? Any game-changing moments? Colin, Captain, our Captain, what are your thoughts? Nope, can't hear you.
Oh, hold on. Hello, hello.
Oh, there you are.
I'm here. Okay. How can you follow Chris, man? It's impossible. But yeah, listen, as far as AI goes, I do think, like some have said already, we have to be very careful how we use it. But for me, when I'm speaking to a lot of clients, like the ones who don't adapt to using AI in their business, well are going to get left behind. I mean, I can give a couple of examples just how I've been using it recently, but like even for my podcast, Riverside has AI functionality built in. What am I missing here?
Oh, just keep going. It's
So,
got
sorry,
Lynn to
Colin.
say, but
I was laughing
we're
at Kelly and Deborah. They've got a hat envy. Deborah's got a
Oh,
hat
see
envy.
Kelly, see Kelly, oh, see Deborah now as well. Good to see you guys. But yeah, like the AI functionality within Riverside alone has like allowed me to speed up the process of how quickly I can. It's allowed me to move from fortnightly. Oh, you guys don't say fortnight. Bi-weekly to weekly podcast episodes because it's saving so much time in the podcast production. I've used it this week with a tool that I learned about in Printing United for building apps and workflows that will help me get through my work a little bit. It just gives me a little bit more control over the business. And I've been building some apps and things for clients to help them solve some of their problems as well. Things that I wouldn't have been able to do this time last year. So yeah, I think we've got to, again, there's going to be so many people on this call with different tools and different ideas. I love what the guys have said already. But yeah, if we don't adapt to using this in our business, we are going to get left behind. So hopefully having more conversations like this and seeing how other people are using it are going to help plant seeds and we can all grow faster together and save time.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's get a little bit serious. Not well, we'll do our best to get a little more serious. You work hard to build a business and in turn a brand. It takes time, focus, blood, sweat, and tears. In addition to running your business, you need to drive awareness, engagement, and growth, and find yourself faced with having to create marketing content. Lots of it. Show of hands who here is creating some sort of marketing or sales content as part of their day-to-day world. Pretty much everybody. All right. All of a sudden, AI arrives and makes everything easier. Suddenly, you can churn out blogs, emails, videos, and social posts in the blink of an eye. You are a content machine. But what you may not realize is that the enticing speed, scale, and glamour of AI comes with a dark side, a side that hallucinates, drifts off message, and floods your brand with generic, error-prone content that erodes trust, weakens brand equity, and hurts revenue. In other words, AI slop is destroying your bottom line one bite at a time. So, two questions to ponder. One, how do you feel about AI slop? And two, how do you decide what's good enough? So I am going to choose Mark to go to go first.
All right, so I come from the
Oh,
relationship.
sorry. Oh, there's two Marks.
Two Marks.
Two Marks. My bad. Mark with a K.
And,
But no,
and
you
both
start.
want to speak, I'm sure.
That's okay. My bad. I should have been more specific. Mark, go. You started. You can start. Mark C.
The proper thing to do would be for the other people to go first.
Okay. That's what I'm trying. All right, Mark P. Mark Pomerantz from Woodstock. Not that Woodstock.
Well, like for anyone, my answer applies to me or my business or what I do, and not necessarily for others. But I'm a boutique, right? I'm not a retail or trying to reach a mass audience or trying to create any content factory. So everything by choice to me, not because I have any aversion to AI or alpha iota, as I like to say now. Um, I want a personal stamp on all of the written content that I develop. Now, if I'm going to be doing something for a client that is out of the realm of that, then I probably, and it would be very regular and a higher volume, then I'm certain I would seek help, right? And that's one tool and one way that I could use that help. I have no problem with somebody in those situations using that, but I would agree with what you wrote that, and what you stated, that a lot of it is now self-identifiable. And once you get used to seeing it, and it's not just the M dash, it's there's a lot of things, of course, especially on the graphic side, but even in written content where you can start to spy it. And authenticity is just one of the few things I feel I want to always maintain in my business as an arsenal. So it's just a business decision to me. It's not a technology decision. It's not a philosophical, and it's not a fear. I just think that it all has its place. And I love to use AI on a personal basis. Some of the questions you were asking earlier, for me, a big moment was entering medical information about myself or situations to find without having to ever go to a doctor again, unless necessary. There's just, I mean, what a moment that was, a great moment for me to see that. So, and my wife. So, yeah, that would be my perspective on this.
All right. Other Mark.
So I'll make it brief. Number one, I think AI slop is great. It's the moat that we all wish we had. Like, it's the amount of process-driven AI garbage is going to make the distinction between people who bring something real. We all have a few years on us here, which is nice. So the next part of that is personal story, live streams, and any IRL experience in real life is going to become the differentiators. So I think that's what we lean into as a group, individually, and I think that let them slop it up out there. That is great.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
Anybody here worried about the AI is going to take your job?
No.
Nobody?
With
Alicia,
no,
you had,
AI, sorry. So
sorry?
when I did my book last year, who, for those of you who didn't buy it, you should go on Amazon and buy it. It would be a great gift for yourself and
My
for
book
my
came out
family.
first.
Well, you're not. I'm promoting mine. You promote yours on your own time. But yeah, you just. I'm not worried about the jobs. When I did the book, I'm working with the guy who wrote it, because you obviously know I'm not a writer. And at halfway through, I said to him, "Are you worried about AI?" And he said, "Oh, I am." And I said, "You don't have to be." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, look, I could have. My friends told me I'm an idiot for coming to you and spending the money when I could have done it myself on AI." And I could have asked myself questions and let AI ask me. I said, but at the end of the day, I don't know a good book. And I don't know a good book even to trust AI well enough to put it out under my name. So I said to the guy, I said, maybe people will bring you more content themselves, but you're still going to have to take the same amount of time and put it in the right chapter with the right flow and the right feel. And at the end of it, he was like, "Oh my, I feel so much better." And I said, "Great. Now you don't charge me for my book. I just gave you a life lesson." Right? But so I think with everything going on out there today, either you embrace it or you could make yourself crazy about it. Right? And you have to breathe in, breathe out, and not make yourself crazy, because it is not the end all. Same way we thought the computers were going to take away everyone's job and that there'd be no more printing done, and there's more paper printing than ever before, you know? So don't sweat it.
Kara? She's so nice. She raises her hand. Not like the
Yeah,
rest of us. We
I
just
know
jump
pretty
in.
much. I was just gonna say this is a question that I get asked all the time by high schoolers when we go in for recruiting about our program. Almost every time we're at a school, one student will ask about AI taking over. And my response is always that AI grew fast, interest grew fast, and people liked the idea of it, jumped right in, and it seemed to take over. But I feel like we're at a point now where people finally understand that it's not something that we can use to replace anything. It's a tool to help you improve, and that there will always have to be that human touch. You can't ever replace that. And it always kind of seems to hit them, and they're like, okay, where maybe it's going to die down. I don't have to worry. I can go into this industry. I will have a job. And so it's just like, I feel like at this point, super important to just raise awareness that AI is a tool. It's not taking anything over. It's just something you have to collaborate with and learn to use correctly.
I love it. What I like to tell people is, even before AI, everyone was talking when Canva came out. It's like, just because you can use Canva does not make you a graphic designer. Just because you can use Microsoft Word does not make you a writer or a journalist. And just because you can use AI, it does not make you a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or a bookkeeper. It's there to just help you. Heather, you are so patiently waiting with your hand up.
So, uh, we've talked a lot about this in our agency, and we position ourselves as an ethical agency. So AI is a big talking point for us. And the thing we've come down to is that we sandwich AI. So there's a human involved that uses the AI tool, and then there's a human review. And so we've actually started, as we're planning resources for projects, we've named the AI as Sandy. Sandy is one of our resources, so that we're acknowledging when and where and how an AI tool is being used, and we make sure we're transparent with our clients to tell them that we used an AI to generate, or to come up with this concept, or to help brainstorm, or to come up with these titles or whatever. We're very, very clear about that. And we have not encountered any pushback from them. I think they appreciate being told. And they like that we're being efficient. I think it's when people try to pass off AI generated content as their own that we really start to run into problems.
Yep. Deborah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
All right, so here comes the contrary point of view here. First of all, I agree with Heather that sandwiching is the best thing, but I would also say if you only need one human to review things, then there potentially are other humans that are not required anymore. So any thought that AI is not going to replace us, I think is a little short-sighted. It might be right now because we haven't seen all the examples out there of how AI could actually run a factory without anybody in there, although Amazon is probably pretty close to something like that. I mean, but it's not the best philosophy to just say, oh, this will never happen. I think that in the printing industry, we go through that a lot. Like, oh, no one's going to want to do this. And now all of a sudden did the offset people ever think that they were going to have some disruption in their lives? Probably not. But now we see Heidelberg has digital presses, so they didn't say, well, this will never replace this. And in some instances it won't, but they can't be short-sighted of the way the world functions. And that's what I would say. People have tolerances for things. Right now, it's really easy to tell the AI content because there's emojis, there's bullet lists. The last line is almost always, and in conclusion. I pinged some of the publications out there, and I'm like, look, if your freaking contributors are putting out AI content, I know not to read their posts, but I'm coming to you now because it's your publication and you're the editor. So this is a reflection of you, just letting the 5 best ways direct mail can increase your response. It's crazy stuff. But we have a tolerance for that now. As the world becomes more immersed in this, that tolerance is going to, that attention to those things is going to focus on other things, and the marketing and the design and the videos, it's the lowest hanging fruit. It's usually the first thing to get cut in any merge so I'm not being Debbie Doom here, but if we don't keep this in mind and understand how to incorporate or sandwich it in our lives and to do things that humans only have to review, I think that is very, very short-sighted. So just keep the big, we are where we are now, live in that world now, but I would, if I was a designer in college right now, I would be freaking the hell out. And
I would be learning how to use AI as a designer.
This is what I'm saying. Where the printing industry is falling short is exactly what you said before. Just because you can use Canva doesn't mean you're a designer. Well, to them, they're a designer because they've never been able, they don't know how to use the tools. Oh my God, I made a logo. Okay, it's in freaking Helvetica, right? It's not really, but to them, it's the Mona Lisa. So you just can't lose sight of that. It depends upon where you are in the world. And where I think the printing industry is falling short right now is what I've been saying for 2 years. Why aren't we teaching the designers how to use AI to create art so it's freaking reproducible? And I will stop there or I'll go crazy.
So Chris had his virtual hand up, and then Richard has his live hand up. So we'll go with Chris and then Richard, because I was going to come back to you, Richard, anyways. Chris.
Thanks, Joe. Great point, Debs. Love the hat as well. I just wanted to throw another angle at this because we're talking about the creative side of AI. Something we did this year was we teamed up with some very intelligent young people that are fresh out of university, and a lot of you on this call will know them, called Smart Elephant, Harrison Bailey. Now, these guys and girls came out of university with that mindset of we need to know AI now. And the result was absolutely astounding, not in necessarily in the creative space, but in the technical and the coding area. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's take most software companies in the world that we've all been working with for the last 20, 30 years. Most developers would know one, maybe two languages, and they would code in those languages every day, day in, day out. These students are coming out of university and they're sitting on sales calls and project calls, and there's multiple languages being thrown about, and they're not phased, and they're not flushed, and they're taking on multiple languages, and they're dealing with them through their understanding of AI at speed. They are a fraction of the cost of the large vendors. They are quicker. They have a better attitude, personally. They have a we'll prove it to you kind of attitude and pay us on completion. And I've seen the results myself with very, very large PSPs in North America with some very decent kit. And it just shows you with the right mindset and the right sort of problem solving. But the key element here is these guys are coming out of university having been told to think like this. They've come out, given the tools and said, don't just learn JavaScript, learn all the languages and be able to do it. And I think that's something we need to sort of highlight on not just the creative element, but every system. But the worry is to all these other companies, I say worry because there's a flip side to this. You've got 60 developers sitting there every day just coding in one element of a program. You technically don't need 60 developers anymore to do that. However, so that's not good for the job market, of course, but it is good for the business because the business can be more streamlined and more efficient. So there's a crossover with cost versus job.
Richard, what are your thoughts? I just want to reemphasize one of the questions that prompted this amazing dialogue is what's good enough? And that's why I wanted to ask you, given your pedigree, how do you decide, take Deborah's point around lowest hanging fruit and it's just going to become status quo. What is that distinction? What line do you cross?
I think the problem is not us, which is quite interesting. And I can't remember who it was that said earlier on, and they painted it beautifully and said, we've got some years on us. That's a very nice way of calling us all old. But I don't think the problem is us. I think the problem largely is something that Chris has just picked up on, is any of you that have got kids at school these days, you will know that the schools are no longer educating them they're educating them for a world that no longer exists. And while they continue to do that, the only bit that sits in that middle, in the gap, is doubt. The doubt is fueled by the media. The media are the very people who are vested in AI not taking people's jobs, because it will be those jobs that they're taking, ironically. So there's a huge sort of conflict of information that leaks out into our world, and we're not very good at change. The irony is, as human beings, we're actually not very good at change, even though society is constantly changing. We just don't like it largely. And then we'll put up with it, and then we'll eventually adopt it. Deb's made a great point about when the internet came along. when electricity replaced steam, when cars replaced horses. We've always resisted change throughout history. This is just another point. And everybody said the same thing, that AI is another tool in the toolkit to help us. The only thing I would always recommend is to use it as a blend. So use actual intelligence alongside artificial intelligence. And then, yes, it might be able to save you a lot of time, but spend some of that time that it saved you on checking to make sure it's the very thing you wish to save time on. So I think it's a huge argument, and not one necessarily that we can solve tonight. But what I would say is worry less, and inquire more, because everything that we've learned how to do over the last 10, 15, 20 years didn't exist in the last 25, 30, 35 years. So we've done quite well in that regard in terms of adaptation, but we won't go at the speed that everybody thinks we should go at. And I don't believe there's a cliff edge.
Thank you, Richard. Kelly.
Sorry, I just wanted to toggle on to something that Tara was saying, that from an overall messaging perspective, I think in the North America anyway, is the idea of I'm trying to even think of the right word. I was just at a PAC meeting at our local trade high school, and the instructors there were telling me that the parents are telling the kids, don't study graphic communications in high school because you won't have a job. We have to understand like the cascading effects of the whole perception of print and graphics in the world as it pertains. So at that intersection of AI, I think is we all have to do a better job of, and this is the mission of Girls Who Print, right, is to create the world and the trajectory and the understanding of what a career and a life in print could be. And it certainly doesn't involve saying print is not dead. Jesus H. Stop, right? Again, it's a message that we have to be creating all the way from middle school on up, is to say there are great careers. They're having me back in January to talk about careers with these young people in the schools. But it's just important that we all understand that the parents are telling the kids become a plumber. The parents are telling the kids become an electrician.
Sure.
Right? Because those are safe, great jobs. And, Tara's program at Ferris State University does an amazing job of going back to the high school trade organization, those trade schools, to show the kids. So I don't know. I just think it's an awareness that we all have to have, that that is a company culture issue. It's a marketing issue. It's an idea that kids, yes, most of them who are studying graphics in colleges and even high schools maybe think they want to be designers. So we have to show them the world, that there's art and excitement and great opportunities in a lot of different elements of both a print shop and different ways. So that was kind of a mess, but I hope it made sense.
No, I love it. Thank you. Jesse.
So I appreciate the comments Deborah made. I was almost thinking that she didn't go far enough. It's funny. I think let's first
You don't hear that
often. let's first get to your question, Joanne, around this concept of like, I don't know about you, but like I've never said anything stupid, right? Everything I've always said, everyone has been perfect and spot on, right? And so a lot of times people have like this thought around like AI slop. It's like, guess what? You say stupid stuff too, right? And so now I can say 10 times, 100 times more things, uh, maybe 20% dumber, right? And I'll take a step further and insult myself and everyone else on this call. No one's heard of any of your companies, nor mine, right? No one knows who the hell any of us are, right? And so I get it if you're Coca-Cola, right? But like your rate limiting factor isn't how intelligent you are, it's how many people know about you, right? And so if you can increase how many people know about you, and then, yeah, you'll take a hit a little bit, right? I'm not saying pump AI slop with automated, totally unreviewed, but that's to me the wrong governor, right? Nobody's heard of you, right? Get people to hear about you, and then you can worry about, whether sometimes you're giving the wrong message. So I'm way more focused on saying 10 times more than I am making sure that I don't say something stupid, because I say stupid stuff all the time at cocktail parties to each other on calls, right? Like, so I'm not going to hold AI to the same standard, never say something stupid, right? And then, in terms of the next generation, I mean, look, my views are darker. I think we're very much facing a lost generation. Um, and I just think it comes down to when in the 80s and the 90s, when the West Virginia coal miners, the consultants were pretty unempathetic, right? Well, you'll just job retrain, right? I mean, it's hard teaching, a coal miner for 20 years to use a computer, right? And I think that the positive news is that a lot of these people need to retrain, right? And do something else. It's not about that the skill is going away, it's that the volume needed and the expertise around it. So on the margin, you just don't need the labor. And the numbers are quite clear. The unemployment rate for four-year college grads is at an all-time high. Um, uh, by the way, if you're a business owner, it's the best thing that's ever happened, right? A business like ours, small business, can you imagine trying to hire for like a shit-stained $3 million print company in New York City? All of a sudden, I can get great marketing people, great IT people, great people because they need a job, right? It's never been a better time to be a business owner from an employer standpoint, right? And so there are, great moments and opportunities, but you know, I I think you're lying to kids, um, just like the consultants lied to the coal miners in West Virginia. And you got to tell them the straight scoop. And the good news, yeah, there's going to be some pain, but the good ones, the world's leading expert at AI has been at it for 3 years. Best case, right? The world's leading expert at Chinese has been speaking it for 4 generations, right? You can catch up, right? It's not like all of us, like someone else could learn AI for 1 month and be at par or ahead of all of us, right? And some of us are pretty good at it, right? So it's not like you're playing from too far behind. I don't know. I think that's the message.
Jesse, can
I
I
like it.
comment on something you mentioned? The assumption, like when the Coca-Cola example you just used, is that distribution is what drives business. That has now changed with AI because it's too easy. It's now trust. And so I don't think we have to tell these young kids anything. The ones who build trust will make money and do fine. And the ones who try to play the labor game of getting a job will lose. And that sucks, but that's your coal miner example. So how do you build trust? It's online. They're calling it build in public. But basically, these kids don't need anyone to tell them anything. I've got two kids, one in high school, one in university, and they have a very strong opinion on what they're going to do with their lives. And these are just tools, the way we had cars and radios.
I love it. Wendy, I know you have your hand up. I want to go to the next question so that we get to it, but I'll come back to you and you can decide to chime in however you like. My last stat, can't believe we're this like close to the top of the hour. I was like, how am I going to fill this hour? This has been awesome. Deloitte's 2025 Connected Consumer Survey found 53% of surveyed consumers are either experimenting with Gen AI or using it regularly. And the survey was done in June. So more than half of the consumers surveyed. 4 years from now, it'll be 2030, if you can believe it. What do you think 2030 will look like, given where we are today? Wendy, I'm going to come to you first. You don't have to answer that question. You can also talk to whatever it was you were going to say before. I just want us to start thinking like 2030 is around the corner. What's that going to feel like? What's that going to look like?
Wow, yeah, I think way to have that question come up, Joanne. I appreciate it. Yeah, I have no idea what it looked like, but I mean, at the end of the day, we have to have a welcoming spirit to try and evolve as things change as well. I just wanted to piggyback off of what Kelly had mentioned about staying relevant in the schools and the colleges. And, experiencing the Expo All Stars and the student day was just so impactful. Even just for myself being a part of it and hearing what the next generation is experiencing and what they're looking forward to. But I think what we have to consider is if we all turn on our television you will see advertisements with people who are wanting the trade industries to be trained and to get jobs, right? You'll see them promote the plumbers, the electricians, the welding union shops, all of them. We never see that with print and graphics in a large scale media, right? It's almost like we are a part of all types of different trades that we don't get any type of advertising from that angle. So I think it really takes us considering stepping out, saying, we are here, we are in some form or fashion. I mean, I'm heavily manufactured signage. And so, I mean, we touch everything, paint, welding, light electric. And that's been one of my pushes is I've got to show up where young people are, where career centers are, and I have to show them that this is a great industry that you can make a living and enjoy because it's different every day. So
I love it. Thanks, Wendy. Deborah?
Okay. Well, I'll answer your question then if I could just go back to something. So in 2030, 2030, is that how you say it? 2030?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I believe that by that time, everybody will have found their tribes and will be collaborating in very tight circles, moving together, because the only way forward is together at this point. Everyone disjointed is not the way that this is going to go in any productive way. So I know that I right now am looking for people out there who have the same beliefs and strategies, and seeing how what I can do and what they can do can be something that we can do for everybody. And that doesn't just mean like my whole life is that. It means that that's one thing. I want to go back to this. I guess it's the students, although there's no reason that we cannot be attracting, an unemployed person from a gas station to run a press, and that is not any offensive to anybody. You can train somebody to do things like that. What Wendy said is really important, showing up where the students are. The problem is that the reputation of print precedes you walking into that room. And as we just saw from the RIT program shutting down or being moved, it was literally because the parents said they thought of the printing industry like the newspaper. And I use that example all the time. All they know is the old guy in the white overalls covered with ink going, "Stop the presses," from the movies, right? The other thing I always say is that there's an expression that the Eiffel Tower is just a lamppost with great PR. And that is the problem of the printing industry. And one of our biggest problems right now is that once again, we are fighting against technology and it is not the right approach if you want to attract younger people. Digital marketing sucks. Here's 20 reasons why you don't want to do digital marketing. How did that work out for everybody? Everybody said these print people, they're stuck in 1923. They don't understand. It wasn't until we got people on board with print saying, okay, we've got to live in this digital first world now. How can we find our moments? The same thing is happening right now with electronic bills and statements. The printing industry is fighting against electronic bills and statements being not being the first option or whatever it is, but they're fighting against electronic bills and statements. Find me somebody. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I rarely get a bill or statement in my mail, but just trying to hold on to that printing and mailing money makes us seem antiquated. And that is why no parents will invest in something that, they think is an antiquated thing. So again, I say the printing industry has to be forward in embracing all these new technologies. Like, hey, you want to be a designer? Fantastic. We're going to, you already have your skills. We're going to show you how to apply that with AI and all these cool things and program stuff, and then bring them over to and show them, let them do it. And that's, we have to live in both these worlds. But right now, the printing industry is like AI bad. Don't use it for design. Don't. It is that is the fastest way to get a Gen Alpha to be like, these people are out of their minds. What is a newspaper?
Deborah, sorry to interrupt, but can both things be true? Just in terms of, because I hear you, I agree with almost everything you're saying, except for the
Almost.
part,
Get the boot
except
him.
for the part where anyone needs to go to a 4-year school. Like there shouldn't be.
I'm not saying they do, sir. That's why I started off by saying even if it's somebody unemployed from a gas station, we can bring them in and train them. But the specific example was Wendy said going to schools where students are. And I was saying the problem with that is that unless we change the perception of our industry, she's walking into people already thinking it's antiquated. But we are saying the same exact thing. I do not think for 1 second anybody has to go to school to work in the printing industry. It's about experience. It's about who you are and what you can
Right.
handle. There's plenty of jobs.
So you and I agree, but ultimately what you're saying when you walk into that school is, you're not saying it this way, but you made a mistake going to a 4-year school, right? Because the parents are saying we don't want them to go into this field. And we're saying you didn't need the 4-year school to go into this field, but it's a great field. It's a great field. Put that to the side, right? It's a great field. There's lots of opportunity. You can learn it through the apprentice model. You can learn it the same way you learn how to do plumbing. It's like you don't need to go to school for it, right?
Well, you need to go to a different type of school. I think
I'm not
it's like you don't
suggesting
need to
that.
go to a prestigious university. You can go to a trade school or
You're still going to have an advantage over other people if you have in as far as the hiring process. I mean, people still have their attachments to things like that. I don't think you're wrong. I wouldn't go in there and say this school is useful. It's like how to apply what you've learned here, and then we're going to help you get more information to apply it in other places.
Yeah, but it's an intellectual short sale. You've taken 4 years to learn what you should have learned in one. And
I look, I'm not disagreeing about this at all. I have been saying forever that instead of funding, no offense to students or teachers, these scholarship funds to these programs that are not generating, not all of them, Toronto happens to be good, that are not generating actually people that could work in the industry. They don't have the right skills. They don't have the right equipment. They have nothing over there. That the industry should instead take all that money and develop its own technical school where people come, they get trained in the things, and then they have job placement, just like the refrigerator people, just like the server people.
I mean,
And
Jamie
then
Dimon said the exact same thing about bankers. He's annoyed with what they're learning in college and MBAs too. This isn't exclusive to print. This is like they're saying the people you're giving us out of these schools aren't good.
So I think we've got our topic for our next meetup.
But that solves itself.
What does?
If the people aren't good enough, it solves itself.
Well, with the
there
lost
you go.
generation, for sure.
Yeah, Joanne,
There you go.
it's the topic.
That's the topic for the next one. Absolutely. Wow, thank you. We did go a little bit over, but we could probably talk for another hour, but we've all got other places that we need to be at.
I got nothing else to do. I could stay.
I want to thank everybody for their time today, for stopping by, for all of the wardrobe changes, for all of the hats, for contributing. I want to wish everybody a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, wherever you celebrate. May it be filled with light and love and joy and peace and good health. And cheers to an awesome, awesome 2026.
Here, here.
Thank you, Joanne.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.